What's up, everybody? It's Saturday night, and you know what that means. It's time for some shenanigans. I expect you guys to know what things mean on Saturday. Saturday morning, you're supposed to know what things mean. Saturday night, you're supposed to know what things mean too. I expect a lot from you on Saturdays. Anyway, today we are doing more bracket fights because nobody stopped me the first time. Therefore, I will keep doing it until people stop me. Our bracket fight for today is to try to find out the best gaming console of all time that ever lived. Let's get it started. Super Nintendo versus Sega Saturn. Considering most of you couldn't tell me what games were on Sega Saturn, there was like Knights and there was Shining Force. Shining Force probably didn't hold up the test of time, although you could still buy and sell Shining Force games for a lot of money, considering it's a Sega Saturn. And anyway, that's besides the point. Most of you probably don't really know too much about the Sega Saturn. It wasn't a bad console, just didn't really have a whole lot going on. Super Nintendo, on the other hand, holy hell, some of our favorite games, some of my favorite games, maybe some of your favorite games are on Super Nintendo. This is not even really a comparison unless you are a die-hard Sega Saturn actually had better specs than Super Nintendo, but unless you're a die-hard Sega Saturn fan, let's be honest, Super Nintendo would take the cake over, Super Nintendo would win over here. We're talking Nintendo Entertainment System, the not the pinnacle of gaming. Like, no, the pinnacle would be the best gaming console. Nintendo Entertainment System. I mean, there was so many problems with it, right? And this is Game Boy Color or Game Boy in general. I don't know if this is supposed to be Game Boy Color or Game Boy overall. Game Boy, fantastic. I feel like we're gonna knock the Game Boy out so fast, but Game Boy was a fantastic console. You know, before we had phones that did everything the Game Boy could do, plus so much more, and also charge us microtransactions. You know what? The Game Boy was better than phones. That's all I gotta say. Game Boy is better. The original mobile gaming, it was more responsive than Nintendo. It was better than well, it was though. Seriously, go play a Nintendo, like an actual like old NES, because no one you just use ROMs nowadays anyway. ROMs are like you play it on something else. Like I just play it on this device, because there's 9,000 different devices that play Nintendo games now. But the actual controls for Nintendo. Oh my God, if you try it nowadays, you'd be like, this is so unresponsive. It's such a pain. Game Boy's not as bad. Game Boy is a little bit more responsive. It's probably due to the fact that Nintendo controller had like this long, gigantic cable, you know, and there was so many problems with it. But I mean, everyone's going to be like Nintendo because it was iconic. Not pinnacle, it was iconic, more iconic than the Game Boy. But I feel like so many Pokemon fans, this is like, they'd be like, Game Boy Color, that was my jam. There's no Pokemon on Nintendo. Eat a dick, Nintendo, right? I feel like that's going to be the situation, but we're going to go with Nintendo because Nintendo, right? One Trick Pony. PSP versus PS2. Why do I feel like the handhelds don't deserve to win any of these? I am a jerk. I feel like the handhelds don't deserve to win it. Well, the PSP had a lot of fantastic games. Everything has a lot of fantastic games. That's what we're learning. Except for Sega Saturn, there was a couple good games. Not a lot of fantastic games. PSP had a lot. PSP is underrated. PSP is a fantastic console, actually. They had a lot of good RPGs. Seriously, if you are looking for because I know a lot of people here from mobile games. If you're looking for like gaming on the go, and you're looking for some solid titles of some really good gaming experiences, PSP, underrated. PSP has some fantastic games. I have a PSP still. I think the battery exploded. I don't know if it was in it or not in it. I don't know. I still have a lot of PSP games. Some of the games that I got, I guess I could still play them. I still own the games, but man, there's a lot of good games on PSP. A lot of good games on PS2 though too. A lot of good games. It's because there's a lot of, I don't know why I'm thinking like RPGs like as well, but like there's so many solid titles. Solid, you know, there's not really control issues like there was with Nintendo. Solid titles of all kinds, to be honest. There were so many, like Jak and Daxter on like Did Jak and Daxter start on PlayStation or PlayStation 2? like, there's good platformers, good RPGs. PS2 had so many good titles. PS2 should win this whole thing, I feel. I don't know, man. Now I'm thinking PS2 should win this whole thing. PS2 is so good. So good. PSP, though, so fantastic. These two shouldn't be... I feel like the PSP should go on fast in this. Nintendo DS, I always felt, and it really depends on, like, your gaming experience, right? Nintendo DS versus PSP. PSP is just a better console. I'm sorry. Nintendo DS does things that the PSP can. It's got the 2 screens. It has some games that the PSP didn't. Like, if you love Nintendo games, there's some good Nintendo DS games, right? There's also a lot of stuff on Nintendo DS I didn't play. I have one somewhere. A lot of stuff I didn't play on Nintendo. I'm just being honest. There's a lot of stuff I didn't play on Nintendo DS. It's really based on, like, what kind of gameplay experience you enjoy. And I'm not even talking about DS versus the Wii. I'm talking about, wasn't the Wii like the best-selling console of all time? Now I'm curious. Now we need to know. Best-selling consoles of all time. Let's see it. No. Yeah. Okay, best-selling consoles of all time was... PlayStation 2 was the best one. Nintendo DS was the What? I thought the Wii was. I thought the Wii was like the #1 of all time. Not even close. PS2 was the #1 of all time. I think PS2 was a fantastic console. Wasn't that console like PS2 was like around for so long before the PS3 even came out. Like PS1 and then PS2 came out. We were very excited about the PS2. And the PS2 had like this, feels like it had a tremendously long life cycle. Maybe that's why it had so many good games, because it had a tremendously long life cycle. I feel like both of these, I feel like for many people, many of our crowd of people that like we're like in our community, whatever, I feel like they would choose the DS based on the games that were in the DS. Like there was a lot of fun, it was mobile, there was a lot of cutesy collector kind of games on there versus the Wii, which a lot of is like, the Nintendo games and their sports and some stuff like that. And I feel like, I don't know, but some people I think biased on the Wii. Should we actually do this? Do the DS? I feel like I'm gonna do this for you. Do I love the Wii? I don't know if I necessarily love the Wii. I mean, it's okay, it's cool, whatever. I think I'm gonna go for. I'm gonna do this for you guys. I'm gonna do DS. Okay. What is this? A Jaguar? I don't even know what this is. Is this a Jaguar? Okay, GameCube. GameCube had some solid stuff too. Every console, I'm gonna say, had some solid games. They all did. GameCube, oh my god, GameCube had some good stuff. GameCube had, Super Mario Sunshine, had some Zelda stuff, had some the Rogue Squadron, Luigi's Mansion. That was like I didn't play the newer ones, but the original Luigi's Mansion was fantastic. I mean, this is a no contest, GameCube, because I don't know what this is. It's not a Jaguar, right? What is this? I don't know. I'm not entirely sure. I'm sure that one had some great games too. So this is what? Xbox 360 versus Wonder Swan. Who's picking the Wonder Swan? What is a Wonder... Hold on. We got to figure out what a Wonder Swan is. What is a Wonder Swan? Wonder Swan, handheld game console, released by Bandai. Okay, let's find out what the Wonder Swan is, guys. Developed by Gunpei Yokoi's company, Koto Laboratory, and Bandai. Last piece of hardware in Yokoi, developed before his death in 1997. See, now I feel bad for not choosing them. Spoiler alert. Blah, 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 blah. Long battery life in comparison to its competition, Nintendo's Game Boy Color and SNK Neo Geo Pocket Color. I don't know if I consider this a competitor to Game Boy Color, considering I don't know any Game Boys, any games that are even on it. There's like, what is even on it? Game library. Wonder Swan sold 10 million game cartridges in all. It's not really a competitor. Oh, they had some Final Fantasy remakes, but they were also on the Game Boy Advance. Okay, they really didn't have too much going on. Okay, so we're going to choose Xbox 360. Xbox 360, guys, had fantastic games to the Xbox 360. I know if you guys are like, yeah, we know that, buddy. You know what I don't like about these new game consoles, though? Which Xbox is this? Is it the Xbox One? Or the Sega... Is that the Sega Master System? Is that the Master? I didn't have the Master System. Is this the Master System? Let's find out. All this whole video is just me Googling things. Is this the Sega Master System? Yes, this is the Sega Master System. I know you guys were curious. Most of you probably already know this. No, probably like 20% of you know. Sega I didn't have a Master System. I think my cousin or something had a Master System in New York. I didn't have I think I played it like once in my life. And then this is the Xbox. Which Xbox is this? Listen, I don't have a whole lot of the Xboxes. I can see you clicking the dislike button. I'm sorry. We're still choosing it. I'm still on your team. We're still choosing it. However, I personally did not have. Which one is this? I don't even know which consoles these are. I mean, the Dreamcast. Know what the Dreamcast is. So, the interesting thing about the Dreamcast, the memory cards, because you needed memory cards for some of you would know exactly what I'm talking about. The memory cards had you could play little games on them. Like that little thing on the controller is a screen. So there's things that went on the screen as well for those. Dreamcast had some good games on it too. Dreamcast, Soul Calibur. Wasn't the original Soul Calibur on Dreamcast? Solid stuff. First one, is that a say Mega Drive? Hold on. Does that say Mega Drive? No, that's not. No, the Mega Drive is something totally different. Okay. It's the Sega Genesis thing. Why am I thinking that's not the Sega Genesis thing? I know it. I know what that is. For whatever reason, I don't know what this console is. So we're going with the Dreamcast. Some good games on it, though. Some really good games. Oh my God, you're going to make me choose. I believe for me personally that the Super Nintendo is just better in every way than the regular Nintendo. I'm sorry. It's just more super. The Nintendo is iconic. It's the pinnacle of gaming. Okay, it's not the pinnacle of gaming, but it's iconic, and we should respect the iconic Nintendo. However, the amount of super amazing games on the Super Nintendo, it's just everything about Nintendo, but more super. How can you not say Super Nintendo is just... there was better titles. I'm sorry. They're iconic. Super Mario and Duck Hunt and... I want to say Quackshot. That wasn't even on the Nintendo. What's the other one? Listen, there was good stuff, right? It was like Tetris and the original Ninja Turtles games and things like that. We all remember them fondly. However, the amount of really solid games on Super Nintendo... it's a more enjoyable experience because, the gameplay, the controls, and everything like that was just better. The games were better. Everything was better. Nintendo, not as great as you guys think it is. We can all respect it. I'm choosing Super Nintendo. You can dislike the video. I'm choosing Super Nintendo. PlayStation 2. Here's the thing, though. It depends on the game. I mean, obviously, the specs are better. Obviously, everything is better on a PS2. Nintendo DS is more it's a significant specs difference, gameplay experience difference. If you were a kid and you like collector Nintendo cutesy games, you're gonna have more fun with the DS. I feel like a lot of people have a soft spot for the DS. I also feel like the PlayStation 2 is so many good games. Good games on here. Also good games on here. We're gonna go with the PlayStation 2. I'm sorry. I know. This is all very. This is all very much based on preference, based on the games that you like to play. GameCube versus Xbox 3. See, I mean, for me, I would choose the GameCube. However, I will respect that Xbox 360 had just a larger amount of good games, better specs, better everything than the GameCube had. Probably better controls. I have them both. I played the GameCube more, but I don't think that necessarily makes it a better console. I believe that the Xbox 360 was... I mean, we're talking more than just specifications, right? We're talking about more than that. We're talking about... Okay, so I'm sorry, Dreamcast. Fond memories of Soul Calibur. However, another one where just everything about it. Why you make me do all the ones on the left first? You give me some hard decisions instantly. How are we gonna say? There was just so many good games here. We're only halfway through. How does this video take so long to figure? Because I keep Googling things. That's why it takes so long to figure out. Super Nintendo versus PlayStation 2. Obviously, the PlayStation 2 has better specs, has better everything, is just more robust, is more powerful, etc., etc. Super Nintendo has such a good game library. I mean, they both have so good game they're both fantastic game libraries. Some of my favorite games are on this console. I feel like this could be like the top 2. And we have to answer this now. Okay, I mean, I'm just gonna answer. See, here's the thing. I'm not like an Xbox super fanboy. I don't have like thousands of hours logged into 10,000 hours logged. I know you guys. I'm like thousands of hours. You guys don't just have thousands of hours logged into Xbox. You have 10,000 plus 20,000, 30,000 hours logged into Xbox games. So we're gonna go with this one based on the specs. Game library. I'm the wrong person to ask on this. I'm gonna go based on specs, right? But you gotta stop going based on specs. I'm gonna go with this game library. See, I go back and forth. I just think that the PlayStation 2 is one of the best consoles ever made. I'm sorry. What is this? The PlayStation 4. Well, also first off, it's on the thing. I have a lot of these, right? I have the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 2, PlayStation. No, I don't have PlayStation 4. It doesn't matter. PS2 is backwards compatible. That's why it's one of the greats of all time. This is actually not even a comparison. Now that I think about it, PS4, fantastic console, versus Sega Game Gear. Wow, what amazing games on Sega Game Gear. Like Quackshot. No, bam, not Quackshot. Like Sonic. Whatever the Sonic game name was on. I thought the music was like going wonky. Whatever the Sonic game was. Solitaire. Fantastic game on Game Gear. I had this console. That's what I played. I played Solitaire, Sonic, NBA Jam. I'm going to choose this just because NBA Jam. No, I'm sure there's lots of really good basketball games on here. We're going to go with PlayStation 4. Fantastic console. PS Vita. Oh my god. Don't I have one of these two? Do I have it or do I not have it? I don't even know, man. Did this do well or did this flop? Was this a floppy console? Is it a floppy console? Xbox, original Xbox, fantastic. Some solid games for this. I think the PS Vita, I don't really remember too much about it, which cannot be good for it, which means that we have to choose the original Xbox because game library was great. PS Vita, I'm sure everything was great on PS Vita too. I just feel like this was a better gameplay experience. This is not the Mega. This is the Sega CD, right? That's the Sega CD. So, Sega Genesis or the Wii U? What? The Wii and the Wii U? Again, have them both. They smashed together. They smashed together for me. They smashed together in the eyes of the consumers, and that's why the Wii U didn't do as well as they wanted it to. It's significantly better than the Wii. But people don't know that. Actually, I played the Wii U more than the Wii, didn't I? I don't know. Why am I asking you? I ask you guys sometimes. I don't know. This should not be a comparison. I mean, Sega Genesis had some solid game titles. Quackshot. Quackshot is right now. Is this just the Genesis or is this the Genesis and... No, it's not, because I see the Genesis down there too. So, this is just Sega CD. There's no chance in hell Sega CD is beating Wii U. Right? Sega Genesis versus N64. This is where we make some enemies, guys. There's so many good Sega Genesis. I say this about every console. Some good Sega. Sega Genesis had... Are we comparing this? We would compare the Sega Genesis to the Super Nintendo. We would compare the Master System to the regular Nintendo, right? I feel like the Master System... Well, both Nintendo consoles, in my opinion, outweigh the Genesis consoles or the Sega consoles. Sega Genesis was pretty good though. Had some good titles. We're gonna go with N64. N64 had so much good stuff. I'm a Nintendo fanboy. Crap. This is not a bias. This is not biased. This is not biased. I'm just gonna choose Nintendo and PlayStation and Sony things. I'm not gonna choose Microsoft things. Microsoft pissed me too much. Pissed me. They pissed me off too. Let me hold on. Let me rephrase. Let me clarify. They pissed me off too much throughout the years with all of their random phones and operating systems and all the different BS. I can't choose Microsoft anything because F Microsoft. They're a tremendous pain in the ass. Yeah, I could say that on this channel. They're a tremendous pain in the ass, right? Microsoft sucks. I know some people, Microsoft fanboys, Xbox fanboys. Sony, on the other hand, man, so I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm pissed off at Sony for half their stuff too, but well, not really half their stuff, for all the constant downloading nonsense on all the PlayStation consoles that are connected to the internet. And oh my god, I'm so tired. Like, you can't just play a game anymore. You can't be like, pop the game in and start playing it. Like, nope, there's downloads that you have to download. The newest this, and then the newest that, and then you have to log in with a special account for the game. And it's like, just let me play the effing game. Just let me play the effing game. So I definitely hate that part. But if you look at Sony's lines of TVs, cameras, I'm literally doing this right now on a Sony camera. This is not a webcam, it's a Sony camera. It's a Sony A600. Is that what it is? And I have another Sony camera, an A7 III. So Sony just consistently good products across the board. I have not really that much bad stuff to say about Sony. And man, I've had so many opportunities to say bad stuff about Sony. Every time I get a Sony product, I can't complain too much. I don't know properly how to use them sometimes because some of them are complex, but I don't even know what console this is. I'm just ranting. PS3, fantastic console. So this is an Atari Lynx versus a, I don't know what that is. Versus a phone. The first phone, guys. The first phone ever created. I have no idea what. You know what? I've seen some Lynx games. I've never actually played a Lynx. This is going to get knocked out in the next round. I just know it is. We're going to choose this because this Atari Lynx because I don't know what the other one is. So, PlayStation, original PlayStation. Oh my god. Original PlayStation versus the Nintendo 3DS XL. Not the DS, not the 3DS, the 3DS XL. Sure, it's a great console. I'm sure it's some of you guys' favorite consoles. PlayStation, though. Original PlayStation. Well, actually, you know what? I do believe, aside from all Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy Tactics aside, Crash Bandicoot aside. Actually, I don't think Crash Bandicoot's really the best platformer. I think that there's better platformers on PS2, to be honest. I think there's a lot of stuff better on PS2. PS2 just improved on everything PlayStation 1 did. I feel like PlayStation 2 is better than PS2 in terms of, like, specs, but, like, kind of lost its way in terms of, like really, like, gameplay that people like. You know, I love that game. I feel like PS3, people are like, wow, the graphics are much more beautiful than PS2. But PS2 is like, man, I love that game. PS1, you know, there's some games to love there too. I'm going to choose the 3DS because we already see PS2 is up there. Let's give some respect to the 3DS now. PlayStation 1's fantastic games. But I just feel like PlayStation 2, you just play all the PlayStation 1. I mean, kind of do that with a lot of stuff. But we're gonna do that one. Atari, some good games, man. Some good games on Atari. Space Invaders. What else did Atari have? I think I still have an Atari. Is it sad? I don't know. I think I still have an Atari. I didn't like go out and buy one when I was. Hey guys, when I was 22, I went out and I bought an Atari. Big, how old are you? No, it was my dad had an Atari, and therefore it was. I have an Atari now. But yeah, that is, like, I played with it when I was a kid, right? I mean, Atari, you gotta respect Atari, but Game Boy Advance had Game Boy Advance had so many good games. So many, like, some of these Nintendo handhelds had Nintendo pushes out just crap tons of like, games that people work a pretty solid amount on for these Nintendo handheld games. I feel like some of the Nintendo handheld libraries are better than, like, the Wii and the Wii U libraries for some of these handhelds. So I gotta respect some of these, like the Game Boy Advance, like the Wii, I was gonna say the Wii U, the 3DS and things like that, because they make some really good, really solid games. And you're like, look at some of these RPGs, and you're like, why is that not on your home console? Why is that on your handheld? I want to buy a handheld now to play that. I don't know. Maybe it's a Japanese thing, I guess. Maybe they're like, we use the handhelds more than we do the other ones, right? So PS3 versus original Xbox. I own both of these. I'm a PlayStation fanboy. I mean, sorry, not the PS3, the PS4. Did we already answer the PS3 question? Was the PS3 even in here? I'm sure it was. It was probably like an easy one that I just ranted about and didn't even talk about the actual bracket fight going on at the current time. PlayStation 4 versus Xbox, original Xbox. We got it, you know, PlayStation 4, obviously fantastic quality, everything. Xbox had some good games. Xbox was the beginning of its generation. I'm going to show respect to the Xbox. These could go either. You could just argue either way on all of these. On every single one, you could argue either way on these. I'm gonna disrespect the PlayStation 4, even though I love Sony. And I'm gonna give it to Microsoft on that one. How much of a you didn't expect that was that, right? Wii U versus N64. I mean, does Wii U have GoldenEye? Wait, does Wii U have like a remastered version of GoldenEye? Now I have to ask, does Wii U have a Wii U have a remastered version of GoldenEye? I don't know. Wii U had some solid. I don't know. Nintendo, we gotta. I'm gonna give respect to N64. I'm sorry. N64 was the beginning of Nintendo's 3D. Was it the beginning of Nintendo's 3D experience? Yeah, it was the beginning of a new era for Nintendo. Better than Wii U. I'm such a douche, and also some of these answers are very confusing because you don't know which way I'm going to go. Because I don't know which way I'm going to go. Oh, here's the PS3. I knew it was somewhere in there. I don't give a damn about the Atari Lynx. So we're going to choose PS3. Sorry, Atari Lynx. Game Boy Advance versus Nintendo 3DS XL. I'm going to flip a coin on this one. This is based on the game library. I don't know which one has a better game library. I know which one has better graphics. Right? We know which one has better graphics. I don't know which one has a better game library. They both have, I'm sure, some fantastic, robust game. Again, like I was saying, like some of these have like crazy amounts of games, crazy amounts of work put into them. I'm gonna go with. Oh man, I don't know, guys. I honestly don't know what to pick here. I'm gonna defer to some of you guys on this. I'm gonna go with this because it's better specs, but I feel like maybe the Game Boy Advance had better games. Ooh, this is a tough one. Some fantastic games on both these. You know what? Here's the thing. A lot of my answers are based on what had the better game library, what things people were like in love with, right? Not just about the graphics. I don't know that the. Well, I mean, the graphics are very important nowadays. Like if you put something out without good graphics, people are gonna complain. Right, the vast majority of people will complain, but I feel like a lot of people in our community were like, yeah, you don't need the best graphics, but you need to give me a gameplay experience that I'm going to fall in love with, right? I feel like that's kind of our little community that goes against the majority apparently, but whatever. I think we're gonna go with, oh man, Xbox, great games. N64, also great games. This is a hard one. It really is. I feel like this is harder than I'm gonna based on the fact that I'm a Nintendo fanboy and that's it. That's all it is. PS3 had some good games, man. PS2, we already have PS2 in the top, right on the left-hand side. We're going to give some respect to Nintendo 3DS XL. Jeez, so much in there. Nintendo 64 versus, we're going to go with this. We're going to go with that. So the last ones, I feel like you couldn't argue any which way on half of these. Some of them were obviously like, the ones that I didn't know, they were never going to make it further than the first bracket. But a lot of these you could argue that, like, you know, original PlayStation or GameCube, like, you know, Xbox 360. Like, you could argue that some of those are the best consoles, right? But I genuinely feel like that, wow. Is the PS2 my favorite console of all time? There we go, guys. Best console of all time. Best console of all time. This is so biased. This is so biased. This is so biased. It also doesn't make an incredible amount of sense. But anyway, that's it for this one, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. I think a lot of people would disagree with many of the decisions here. So, what do you think we should have done? Leave in the comments. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I will see you as always in the next one.